Welcome to this deep dive, you know, into some seriously potent advice
Yeah.
from Coach Richard Cameron's blog post, passing along precious lessons learned, earned, and implemented.
hmm
What's so cool about this piece is that Cameron is sharing wisdom passed down from his own mentors.
Right.
It's like we're getting a cheat sheet to success,
Yeah.
spanning generations.
What's fascinating about that approach is that it underscores the value of mentorship and how knowledge can be transferred across generations.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's immense power in learning from the experiences of those who came before us.
And Cameron kicks things off with a quote from his mentor, Don Childs,
Okay.
that just hits you right between the eyes. Life will give you what you're willing to fight for, not what you want. I don't know about you,
hmm
but I've definitely been guilty of starting projects with tons of enthusiasm, only to see that fire fizzle out.
It's a trap we all fall into. That initial excitement is like a sugar rush. It doesn't last. Cameron's distinction between a fleeting phase and a committed new way of life is crucial here.
Right.
It's about asking yourself, am I really ready to do what it takes to make this change permanent?
And that's where things get really insightful.
Yeah.
Cameron talks about the 5D-40-10 rule,
Okay.
which I found incredibly insightful.
Yeah.
You automatically surpass 50% of people just by showing up.
Right.
Add a positive attitude and effort,
Yeah.
and you're already ahead of 90% of the pack. But to reach that top 10%, to achieve true excellence, you've got to be willing to enter the dogfight, as he calls it.
It's interesting to consider why attitude plays such a significant role, accounting for a whopping 40% in that equation.
Yeah.
Research shows that a positive attitude not only fuels your own motivation, but also has a ripple effect, inspiring those around you. It's like a performance enhancer for individuals and teams alike.
So are you ready to step into that arena and fight for your spot in the top 10%? Because it's in that struggle, that relentless pursuit, where the real growth happens.
Absolutely. It reminds me of the saying, the obstacle is the way. It's in those moments of friction, of pushing beyond our comfort zones, that we forge resilience and discover our true potential.
All right, on to lesson number 2,
Okay.
playing in traffic. Now, before you envision us dodging cars,
Right.
let me clarify.
Yeah.
Cameron is talking about the power of unexpected connections and the importance of being open to interaction.
It's about recognizing that opportunity can knock in the most unexpected places. Cameron shares a great anecdote about forming valuable relationships while waiting in airports.
Yeah.
Those seemingly mundane moments can be gold mines if we shift our perspective and engage with the people around us.
Think about it. How many times have you been stuck in a line or waiting for an appointment,
Right.
completely zoned out on your phone? Cameron challenges us to be present, to look up and see who's around us.
Yeah.
You never know who you might meet in the grocery store checkout line or while grabbing your morning coffee.
And if we connect this back to the fight mentality from the first lesson, stepping outside our social comfort zone can be a battle in itself.
Yeah.
But it's in those moments of courage, of putting ourselves out there, that we open ourselves up to serendipitous encounters and expand our networks in ways we never anticipated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes the biggest fight is against our own fear of approaching someone new. But think about the potential rewards: a new friend, a valuable business contact,
Right.
or even a life-changing opportunity.
What's crucial here is having a strategy for engaging with people authentically. It's not just about collecting business cards.
Right.
It's about forming genuine connections. Simple things like asking open-ended questions, actively listening, and finding common ground can make all the difference.
You're right. It's not about being a networking robot. It's about being genuinely curious about the people around us. And who knows, that casual conversation in the coffee shop line could lead to something amazing.
It reminds me of the concept of weak ties in sociology. These casual acquaintances, the people we interact with on the periphery of our lives, can often be the bridges to unexpected opportunities and fresh perspectives.
So let's challenge ourselves to step outside our social comfort zones and embrace those seemingly random encounters. It's all about playing in traffic, as Cameron puts it.
And that shift in mindset from seeing social interaction as a chore to an adventure can make all the difference. It's about approaching those interactions with curiosity and an open heart, ready to see where they might lead. It's like that famous quote by Margaret Mead: "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." Building those connections, even the seemingly small ones, can have a ripple effect far beyond what we initially imagine.
Okay, ready for lesson number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron calls this one the 10-minute rule, and it's all about bringing our focus back to the present moment.
Okay.
He asks us to consider, What can I do in the next 10 minutes that's going to get me closer to where I want to be?
This is such a powerful antidote to the overwhelm that often comes with setting ambitious goals. Instead of getting paralyzed by the sheer magnitude of what we want to achieve, we can break it down into bite-sized actions.
Yeah.
It's about shifting our focus from the distant future, which we can't control, to the immediate present, where we have agency.
It's so easy to get caught up in worrying about what might happen months or even years down the line.
Right.
But as Cameron wisely points out, the only thing we truly have power over is what we do right now,
Yeah.
in this very moment.
And by consistently taking those small 10-minute actions, we build momentum. It's like
Yeah.
the principle of compound interest, those seemingly insignificant steps accumulate over time, leading to remarkable progress.
So how can we apply this 10-minute rule in our own lives? Let's say you're working on a challenging project at work
Hmm.
or trying to achieve a personal fitness goal. Instead of getting bogged down by the enormity of the task, ask yourself, what's one tiny step I can take in the next 10 minutes to move the needle?
It could be something as simple as sending an important email, researching a new workout routine, or even just taking a 10-minute walk to clear your head and refocus.
Right.
It's about consistently choosing action over inaction, progress over perfection.
And even if you find yourself getting sidetracked or discouraged, you can always bring it back to the present moment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's one thing I can do in the next 10 minutes to get back on track?
Yeah.
It's a surprisingly effective way to regain control and momentum.
It's about recognizing that we don't need to have all the answers or figure everything out at once. Sometimes the most empowering thing we can do is simply take that next small step and trust that clarity will emerge along the way.
All right, lesson 4 is a big one. And it might not be the most comfortable to face.
Okay.
Cameron calls it embracing adversity,
Mm-hmm.
which might sound counterintuitive at first. After all, who wants to go looking for challenges?
It's natural to want to avoid pain and discomfort. But Cameron challenges us to reframe our perspective on adversity. He shares this incredibly powerful quote from a friend: "The storm doesn't last forever, but it does reveal the strength of the foundation."
Wow, that imagery really hits home. It's like those intense storms that come through and test the resilience of a building. It's in those moments of intense pressure that we discover what we're truly made of.
Exactly. Adversity isn't something to be feared or avoided. It's an inherent part of life and an essential catalyst for growth. It's in those moments of challenge that we forge resilience, develop grit, and unearth hidden strengths we never knew we possessed.
You know, it's so easy to fall into the trap of seeing setbacks as failures. But Cameron encourages us to view them as opportunities for learning and growth.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it speaks to the importance of cultivating a growth mindset. This means embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and evolve rather than viewing them as threats to our ego or identity.
It's about shifting our internal dialogue from, why is this happening to me?
Mm-hmm.
To what can I learn from this experience? That subtle shift in perspective can be incredibly empowering.
It's like that saying, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. It's in navigating the rough waters, weathering the storms, that we hone our skills, build our resilience, and emerge as more capable and confident individuals.
Absolutely. Think about a recent challenge you faced, whether it was a personal setback or a professional obstacle. What did you learn from that experience? How did it ultimately help you grow?
It's important to reflect on those experiences not from a place of self-criticism or regret, but with a lens of curiosity and self-compassion. What insights did you gain about yourself, your strength, and areas where you can continue to develop?
Because it's not about avoiding challenges altogether.
Right.
It's about equipping ourselves with the tools and mindset to navigate them effectively.
And sometimes the greatest lessons come from those experiences that push us to our limits and force us to confront our own vulnerabilities. It's in those moments of perceived failure that we often discover our greatest potential for growth and transformation.
So instead of fearing adversity, let's embrace it as a necessary part of the journey. It's in those moments of challenge that we discover our true strength and resilience. It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But it's not just about surviving adversity. It's about using those experiences as fuel to propel ourselves forward.
And that brings us to Cameron's final lesson, which focuses on something we all know is crucial but can be so easy to overlook: the work ethic.
He doesn't sugarcoat it either. Achieving success requires consistent effort, even when we don't feel like it. It really echoes that fight theme from earlier, highlighting the importance of discipline and perseverance.
It's about recognizing that talent and luck can only take us so far. True success requires showing up day after day, even when it's tough. even when we're faced with setbacks and self-doubt.
And Cameron talks about this internal battle we all face, that voice that whispers, I can't, versus the one that knows deep down, I can. It's that constant push and pull between our comfort zones and our aspirations.
What's fascinating here is the role of mindset. Our beliefs about our abilities, our self-talk, can either sabotage our efforts or empower us to overcome challenges. It's about cultivating that inner voice of encouragement, the one that believes in our potential, even when we stumble.
And one of the most memorable takeaways from this lesson is Cameron's advice to avoid sitting, soaking, and getting sour. I love that. It's such a vivid way to describe the trap of negativity and comparison.
It's a reminder to stay active, engaged, and focused on our own path. Rather than getting bogged down by what others are doing, it's about choosing to celebrate the successes of others without letting it diminish our own sense of purpose and motivation.
It's like that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. When we genuinely support and celebrate the achievements of those around us, it creates a more positive and collaborative environment for everyone.
It's about shifting from a scarcity mindset, where we see success as a limited resource, to an abundance mindset, where we believe there's enough opportunity and success for everyone.
So let's wrap up this deep dive by revisiting the overarching theme. These lessons passed down through mentors highlight the importance of mindset action and resilience in achieving success. They remind us that success isn't a destination, it's a journey, a continuous process of growth and evolution.
And Kerman leaves us with a powerful reminder of our own agency. He says, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. It's a call to action, an invitation to take ownership of our goals and believe in our ability to shape our own destinies.
So as we conclude this exploration of Coach Richard Cameron's wisdom, I want to leave you with this final thought-provoking question. Which of these lessons resonated most with you, and how can you apply it in your life this week?
It's about taking these insights beyond the realm of theory and putting them into practice in our daily lives. Remember, knowledge is only as valuable as our ability to apply it and create meaningful change in the world around us.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. See you next time.